You're making my glasses worse.
We're streaming now. Hey everybody, welcome. How are you? I turned the show on right in the middle of Sarah Marie cleaning her glasses, and I kind of did that on purpose just because I thought it'd be a fun opening. So
thanks, Sam.
You're welcome. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Woo, we have got a show for you. And basically, we're getting close to PaizoCon, kinda. But if you're from out of town, you're going to need this time to plan. Badges are on sale right now. Banquet tickets on sale right now. In fact, you can go boom to there. I just put that in the chat for you. You can go there, hit the link, get about as much information as we're probably going to give you today. But I thought, hey, let's talk about PaizoCon. That Dragon Show, welcome. Kemlek, welcome. Steve, welcome. We will be seeing you again, I hope, at PaizoCon this year. So to talk about PaizoCon, we got one of my favorite people at Paizo, Sarah Marie, customer service manager. I am really excited about PaizoCon this year. We've got Starfinder has been up and running for a while now, so we have a lot of folks playing that. We've got we're going to have a lot of news and maybe some previews of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, yes, I would imagine.
A lot.
And the reason why I wanted to, hey, King of Rock, thank you for subscribing. That's very nice of you. The reason why I wanted to get you on the show for this especially is because you have a lot to do with the show. Is
yes,
that right?
I do, yes.
So just if we were to pull back the curtain of PaizoCon, and not just PaizoCon 2019, but PaizoCons for a while, how much are you doing to get these shows up and running?
Quite a bit. At the show itself, a lot of content's coming from the game designers and the editors and everybody who's been working on all the product. But leading up to that, myself and Jeff Alvarez do a large majority of all of PaizoCon. And my part of this is that I do all the event scheduling. So I take all the events people want to run, all the seminars, all the games, all the panels, and make it all fit into a schedule so that people can go attend things. They aren't double booked, and yeah.
Yeah, well, and this is the thing that I think is important, is that we've spent a lot of time at Paizo going to conventions and all of that thing. And usually when you get your book, you look at it, and there's some conventions, like some panels going on at the same time and all of that sort of thing. We've got at least 3 panels going on at any given time from the open to close of the convention. And then we have organized play is going on at that same time, which Tanya and that team does a whole lot for that. But then we also have the store. So you can go in and buy most of the retail that we sell. We try to bring a big bulk of that. And so really it's a convention, it's a giant booth, and it's organized play all wrapped into one. And so it ends up being a lot more than just a few panels going on.
Yes.
So do we have any of those scheduled as of right now?
I have the template all built out for this year. We ended up changing some rooms around a little bit to give the seminar rooms some more seats. I know last year Glass Cannon's live play events that they did were really popular and were over capacity. So I switched up rooms a little bit. So we now have 90 seats in each, in 2 of the seminar rooms. And so been working on that. I'm starting to collect staff events, and then just a few hours ago I put the link in the forums for third-party event submission.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and the blog and more information on that will get put up kind of as our website content person has time to schedule those, but the link is in the forum, so if you really excited to get your event submitted, you can go ahead and do that there.
And so when you say get your event submitted, we actually take event submissions from our fans, from the people that plan to attend. What sort of things can they do as far as, I want to do an event at PaizoCon?
Sure. It could be anything from seminars. We have people who run seminars on stuff, all sorts of topics. Really whatever makes somebody passionate about gaming, we're happy to see if we can get that on the schedule. And then that we've had stuff like minis workshops for painting minis, a little bit more kind of educational topics about role-playing games, all sorts of stuff.
Nice. And so when that comes down to it and somebody's like, hey, I want to do this thing, can they go to that link that I'm putting up right now, which is just paizo.com/PaizoCon? Is there a way to access eventually when that opens
there will
up?
be once Chris can get that up. Right now, if you go to the PaizoCon forums, there's a thread that I started in there where you can see all the questions. I put the survey link in there, and that's kind of a soft rollout.
Okay.
That way, if anybody sees something on there that's like, oh, you should ask about this, I can quick put it on before kind of everything goes live.
Yeah, or if it's broken, which never happens, but you never know. Okay, so...
in addition to all the seminars and stuff, people run games and get really creative with some of the stuff that they run. There's one event that a fan created many years ago and has since become a staple of PaizoCon is the Bestiary Bash. And I think that's like 16 people, fighting out monsters from the bestiary.
Yes.
But yeah, so those kind of things year after year end up being these, great traditions. And I love seeing the community come in, get to run stuff together. Almost every year at the banquet, when I'm sitting with fans, I hear somebody say like, oh, weren't you in this game with me? And they connect over that. Or people who came to the convention not knowing anyone are then at the banquet sitting with each other, having a fantastic time, having met at one of those events.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm in a little bit of a different position when it comes to, when it comes to PaizoCon, because, usually everybody is scheduled to do something, but I'm doing the social media stuff, April, how are you? Welcome to the show. I'm doing the social media stuff and running the streams for the few panels that we're going to be streaming and all that sort of thing. So I'm usually running around everywhere. So if you do go to PaizoCon 2019 and you don't know anybody there, you at least know your old buddy Dan. So make sure you get a high five. And it's just like that with everybody. Everyone has downtime at some point. Kimlock, thank you for subscribing. That's super awesome of you. Everybody's gonna have downtime at some point, and so it's kind of nice when you can kind of take some time, chat with folks, say what was your favorite part of Pathfinder or Starfinder, or what was your favorite Paizo thing that happened this year, and all of that sort of thing. And it's actually really fun. How much time do you get to connect with folks that are at the con?
It's helpful, if somebody really wants to sit down and talk to me, to let me know in advance, because that lets me put it on my schedule so that I have a time and place where I know I need to be. But I love it. It's great.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Essel, thank you so much for subscribing. Super nice. It's one of those things where when gosh, what was it? It must have been PAX Unplugged, I think, when Cosmo, who is this fella right there, Cosmo was at PAX Unplugged, and he ran the glass cannon through the Starfinder demo, and I was able to stream that on our channel, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, Cosmo is a really good GM," and
yes.
He is a really good GM, and it was one of those things where everyone was like, "I wish I could be in a game and have Cosmo be my GM," and this is the place to do that. Like,
yes.
I think that what people may not understand is that the PaizoCon is made for our chance to have just as much fun playing games as the fans.
And Cosmo's games in particular are a lot of fun because he's not running a society scenario that everybody can sit down and play. He's running stuff like, I don't even want to give it away because it's too much fun when people are surprised by it. But he has props, and he what was it? I think the titles of his events are stuff like Spectacularly Unfair Railroads. And every time I walk past the gaming room that he's, GMing for, everyone is laughing and having a good time. And it is unlike anything anyone will ever play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, I like you were saying, you don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
I had images of the minis and all of that he's using. And I was like, no, I don't think I want to put any of this up. I think that it might be better if you get to experience it yourself.
Yeah.
And he will have in the description of the event, there, kind of gives a little bit.
It lets you know that it's not probably going to be a normal Pathfinder or Starfinder
Yeah,
game.
it's a different experience.
Yeah, it's a very
and
different
it's really good.
It's something I try to encourage people to do, is run stuff that may be a little experimental or a little different than what a standard adventure might be. Just, this is a opportunity for people to have fun and cut loose.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that along with that, and really let's begin at the beginning here, because we haven't quite covered this yet. First of all, it's Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Which is May
24th through 27th.
24th to the 27th May in SeaTac.
Right by the airport.
Conveniently located right by the airport. And the DoubleTree by
Hilton.
At SeaTac. It's got a long name.
Yeah.
The hotel that we stay at. And turns out you have to get all of those words in there because there's another DoubleTree that's kind of close. So it is kind of important that you get the right one. But Vicky Games, thank you for subscribing. That's awesome. But the one thing about it is they have a shuttle that goes right to and from the airport. If you get into the block of rooms, which there's information on the page that I share right there, if you get into the block of rooms, you can get a discount on parking if you have a car, and all of that sort of thing. So I think that Memorial Day weekend, SeaTac, right next to the airport. And how long has PaizoCon been going?
So the very first PaizoCon was in 2008, and that was run by a group of fans, kind of shepherded by Tim Nightingale and Liz Quartz, and they got a bunch of people together and did that. And then the next year, and some Paizo people went to that and thought it was great. It was kind of fun to be celebrated. And then the next year, Paizo said, "Why don't we throw this party?" For our fans, for our community. So since 2009, Paizo has been running PaizoCon. I went to the first Paizo run, PaizoCon, in 2009, and then was hired a few months later. And
so, hang on a second. Back up.
Yeah.
So you were at PaizoCon before you worked for Paizo. So you were already a fan.
Oh, yeah.
You already knew about Pathfinder, had already played it, I assume. And when you went to the con, you've got to experience both ways.
Yes.
As an employee and as an unemployee. What was your hot take when you were there as a fan and not an employee?
I was
it was
really
a long time
yes,
ago,
it was a really long time. I only did it once. I was really impressed by how the staff of Paizo were willing to talk about things with people from the community. One of the parts I remember best about that experience was at that time it was only Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So Sunday afternoon, as the convention was wrapping up, there's kind of this little lobby area with a bunch of chairs and stuff, and a bunch of staff people were sitting there, and I got to ask people questions about this, stuff that just, whatever I wanted. I had a lot of questions about how intellectual property worked, and I sat down, I think it was with Vic, and just, he let me pepper him with questions about this stuff that I'm,
That's super nice.
Yeah, and that I met Eric Mona there, and he did a event there where he DJ'd music. Everybody got to submit their favorite songs, and we all hung out in a room and listened to that. It's a little complex, and I don't think he's run it since, but it was an experience. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Lori, I see your question. Thank you for dropping in. I'll make sure to get to this because Steve got that's exactly it. There's a PaizoCon UK, but it's a longer conversation than what we might have here. We should do a show on that at some point.
Yeah, not with me, because I don't have anything to do with those ones.
Yeah, love Tanya on. It'll be great. But yeah, so PaizoCon UK is...
And there's a PaizoCon Oz too.
There is Oz, yeah.
And I think there's another one, maybe.
Is there?
I don't know. This is why you should have an expert on this.
we are experts, just not on all of them.
I deal only with the Seattle PaizoCon.
Right. Haven't heard about a more general. Yeah, you know what? This will be fun. We will figure this out on another show together about all the other Paizo cons that are going on. We're just franchising, and I don't even know the full extent of it. So let's see. Of course, I still love Dead Dragon Show. Come on, what are you talking crazy for? So now technically last year was the 10th anniversary because 2009 is when Paizo took over PaizoCon.
Yeah, I think we counted from the original 2008 one.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of become such a staple in my life every year to be doing this that I have lost track of each kind of way of counting. So I think that was 2 years ago that we did that. But,
I can't remember. I know
that this is going to be the 12th PaizoCon. Okay. Counting that first one.
Okay, all right.
Which was a very special experience for the people who got to go to that. So
I'm sure.
It wasn't very many. I think it was like 30
Yeah,
people, so
from what I understand, because I did not go to that one at all, from what I understand, it was like at a hotel in a very small banquet room.
Like one of the hotel rooms, whereas now we take over the whole hotel.
Yeah, we do. We take over that whole thing.
Yeah.
And as we're talking, I've got some images that I'd like to show everybody so we can kind of show off some of the fun. So, okay, let's see. So now we are caught up on that Memorial Day weekend, 12 years, craziness, fun, all of that sort of thing. One of the things that I think surprises everybody, and in fact surprises me just as much, is the gift bag. Pretty much everybody that buys a badge, whether you've pre-purchased it, if you buy a one day on site or something like that, we try to get you a gift bag if supplies are lasting, but if you've pre-purchased, you get one. Historically, what sort of things are people getting in these gift bags, which I think is pretty nice?
Well, the 2009 year I went, I ended up, I think, with like 1 or 2 board games. It was like Tahiti maybe and something else. Maybe I picked it up from somebody. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll throw in all sorts of stuff in there. I think usually a novel goes in for sure, and some miniatures, some card decks, and every year we know that a lot of people are coming year after year, and so we don't want to give you the same exact things that you've gotten before, but usually the same type, novel, cards, and gaming stuff.
Yeah, I think that it's been promo minis is what I've seen, and then on top of that, a battles booster box, and different things like that, and then there's been novels, like you said. And then I want to say there was like promos from other people that were at the show.
Sometimes.
I think Ben from Sirenscape had given a discount coupon or something for Sirenscape, and
usually the morning when those are getting built, there's a bunch of people in the little back room behind registration frantically building packets as we run out of them, and I'm running around monitoring the packet handout, helping people whose badges might have an error or something. So I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the swag bag stuff because the people who've been doing that for several years now have it so well taken care of.
And that would probably be closer to like Will and Jeff and like the initial
and then usually we'll if we need help or whatever, an editor developer needs to get thrown in there, then we do that.
It really is all hands on deck. I know that the first time I was at PaizoCon, which I think was 2017, I believe, because I had started working just before that PaizoCon. But the idea is like we have a queue going, which moves exceptionally fast.
I'm kind of proud of that one because I get compliments. That's one area that I have gotten a lot of compliments on.
Yeah.
And people usually tell me it's the fastest convention queue they've ever gone through.
Yeah. Well, it gets a little discouraging when you get there in the morning and you see a line that snakes and snakes and snakes, and it goes. But it really does move quick. Yeah. And the other part of it is you've got people like, Owen Stevens and Jason Bullman like directing the line, being like, all right, everybody, you got to move around here. And it really is suddenly, this is a convention that we're working at like that. Yeah. And that is really it. Like, it's just people there moving the line along, checking people in, it's like, you've got Mark Seifter, like, what's your last name? And getting your packet out and all that sort of thing. It is really awesome. It's just a really good vibe. And I feel like, one of the main things that you've been able to pull off really well with the convention and everybody kind of getting on board with it is a chance to like hang out with us and not be a thing of like, you may talk to us, or it doesn't have that vibe at all. It's more like, no, come hang out with us and play. And I feel like we've nailed that. I feel like it's been really good.
I try to. One of my goals in trying to figure out programming for PaizoCon is to make sure that everyone is having opportunities to meet each other, to hang out, to ask questions, providing, people who are established freelancers or who want to be freelancers, making sure that they have some networking opportunities. We have a lot of Pathfinder and Starfinder compatible publishers that come to the convention, and so it's a great opportunity for people to get into the RPG industry if they're interested in doing that. So I try to make sure that we have some opportunities to do that with Paizo staff, with other companies who are attending. And
right, yeah, absolutely. And nailed it. I feel like it's so much fun, So let's talk about last year. Like every year that I've been there's been special guests.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Last year it was, we had Glass Cannon as a group was actually there. It was really, really fun.
Yep.
They had their room where they were having gaming going on the whole time, and then they had their panels and did some live play and all of that sort of thing. And then there was Spencer Crittenden was there the year before. Dan Harmon Quest's GM, he hung out and ran some games. That was really fun. What do we look forward to this year as far as special guests?
So every year we try to have kind of a gaming guest of honor who's been involved in the rules or the story or the content of the game aspect, and then an artist guest of honor. Mm-hmm. Who's done the art. So this year we have Leanne Merciel, and she has done a bunch of stuff for us, including writing a novel and working on a campaign setting, and some other stuff as well. And then we have Wayne Reynolds, who's done all of our cover art and all of our iconics.
Yes, the Wayne Reynolds.
Yes.
So we've got, I feel like with having kind of a multi-prong, guests idea, is whether you're there for the art, whether you're there for the actual content and the world building and the words, you're covered,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited about these guests, and then of course we have Glass Cannon is coming back.
Yeah.
I believe Glass Cannon is coming back.
Yes.
And so it's one of those things where Steve, you're right. Leanne's novels are amazing, like really good. So
I think one of them's on sale right now too on Paizo.com.
Really? I wish I had a button link
I
for
should
that.
have thought about that beforehand.
Darn it. And this is, it's one of those things again where, and I'm not sure, but in the past it's been set up to where it's like, no, the guests are just a part of the convention like we are. Mm-hmm. It's very accessible. Everyone is very accessible. And so, and especially, having, the second edition and all that kind of stuff. Wayne's going to have a lot of stuff to show off, and I'm really excited for that.
Me too.
Now, Sarah Marie, let me ask you, if you had some hot news that you wanted to get out there during the convention, when would be the best time to deliver that hot off the press, never heard before news?
I would probably say it would be on Saturday night at our preview banquet.
We did not rehearse that, so I'm so glad that we got that right. Yeah, so the banquet is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It is basically the giant room that we use for organized play. We clear everybody out. We set it up. They bring in food and all of that stuff. We've got a stage. And then essentially it's just a big presentation while you're eating and everything.
Usually kind of give people a chance to finish eating. Eric Mona is the MC, and usually Jason kind of has a big chunk where he goes over stuff from the next rules book that's coming out, depending kind of on what products we have releasing, either just released or about to release. Different people will be there showing off either fun stuff that just came out or stuff that's either hasn't been announced or giving more details on stuff that people are anxiously awaiting.
Absolutely. And I think like in the past it was things like the Starfinder announcement and kind of going through the first look at the rules and all of that sort of thing. And so it is really interesting stuff that is not seen before. Like, what in your memory, what's the biggest bomb that was dropped?
I have a hard time remembering what's been announced at the banquets because I know about so much of this stuff ahead of time that I forget what's been new and what's not.
That is true,
But so with the banquet, it's definitely evolved over the years. One of the biggest complaints early on was that the banquet was very long and very tedious. and we've nailed that, I think, last year.
Yeah.
We worked very hard to keep it focused and entertaining. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to try that again this year because it worked out really well.
Yeah, here's hoping. I know that last year I was able to get the streaming thing up and running for it, and actually was I got the images for the slideshow, so I was able to kind of follow along. So I'm hoping that we're going to stream it. I would imagine that we will, but I haven't gotten the thumbs up on that yet, so we'll see. It's being mysterious.
I just know a lot of people in the past have said, I'm not going to bother going to the banquet because it's so long. And so I want to make sure people know we've updated and changed. We've listened to your feedback.
Someone give Eric a script. That's right, Steve. Give him a script, make him stick to it. And speaking of, and so really quick, we're almost out of time for this the first segment. Okay. It goes so fast.
Yeah.
But really quick, just to kind of give an idea of some of the stuff that happens around the show is, there's all the panels that are going on and the scheduled gaming and all of that sort of thing. But a couple years ago, just in the lobby, randomly set up in the lobby, was our buddy Eric Mona, who just happened to have a copy of Dragon Strike. And this is happening in the lobby, and so people were just walking by, and there was spots at the table. It was like, hey, do you want to join? Like, join us at the table. And Eric was running folks through the game, and then it ended up getting so popular that
it was an event last year. Yeah, it was a scheduled event.
This is really fun, and so people seem to have a really good time. So it was like, great! It's a thing that we're gonna do, and people were able to go and have a good time. Yeah. So, really quick before we sign off, I want to cover this one last thing.
Sure.
All of these amazing events.
Yeah.
If I buy a badge and I'm there for all 4 days, I get to go to all of these events?
Well, we have a special process, our PaizoCon event lottery, that we help try to make sure that everybody has a fair opportunity to get in some of these really amazing games like Cosmos, Unfair Railroads, and maybe a second edition game with Jason Bowman or stuff like that. So we have an event lottery process. Sometime, I think I'm trying really hard to keep it at starting about the end of March this year. So sometime end of March, maybe April, we will have all of the events going up on Paizo.com. And if you have a badge on your account, you can go there and you can rank events. I think it's 1 through 5, and you say how much you want to attend an event. I really want to attend this. I would like to attend this, that kind of thing. And we've built the system to work best if you fill out the most events as honestly as possible. And we give you a couple weeks to do that. And then we run a lottery process, and it goes through every attendee. And it's actually seeded with a dice. We start by rolling a dice.
Nice.
And it looks at what their preferences are, and starting on Friday, gives them their top ranked event or a random top ranked event if they have more than one. And then it goes on to the next person and next person, and it just cycles through until everyone has, either all the events are filled or everyone's preferences are taken care of.
Right. Okay. And so that's our way of trying to make it as fair as possible.
Yeah. Kind of give everybody a chance to get into those games.
And then on top of that, besides the panels and besides the structured games, we have delves that happen, which is 2 tables, 4 tables?
It depends a little bit. I think last year we did 3. I think we did 2 playtest delves and a Starfinder delve.
That's exactly
I'm not sure if we're going to have 2 second edition delves or not this year, but certainly could be a possibility. But there definitely will be at least 1 second edition delve and 1 Starfinder delve.
Okay. And the delves, if you've not had a chance to play in those, are where essentially they're open tables that fill up. They cycle through a game every 20 minutes.
They're right in the lobby.
Right there. Yeah. And everybody is assigned, everybody takes a different shift. They think they do it for an hour or something like that.
It depends a little bit. Oh, the employees, yeah.
Yeah, they're, okay.
It depends on where they fit into the schedule.
Right. And then each one takes about 20 minutes, so it's kind of in and out. and it's usually first come first serve because they cycle so quickly. But the idea is that you're gonna die. Like it's gonna be rough. It's like Dark Souls, but for Pathfinder. And they put little stickers where people have died, so the map starts to fill up with, oh, that was a spot. Rest in peace, that person. And those are just Paizo employees running people through for these 20-minute delves, and it's a lot of fun. So and those are things that you can show up for and get in, and then also organized play. For the most part, there's room.
The Organized Play Foundation takes over one of the ballrooms, and they schedule and run a ton of tables. I think it's going to be about 40 tables from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And Friday evening they'll run about 40 tables as well. And Saturday morning, not Saturday evening because of the banquet.
Right.
And then Sunday night they do a giant special. And Tanya just let me know that this year they are doing a world premiere of a Pathfinder Society special.
Really?
Yes. So first time anybody will get a chance to play that.
That's great.
Yes. And I do want to say one thing about the organized playroom. In the past, we've gotten some feedback because there was no organized play games scheduled from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. That people were just still really trying to find some gaming time there. So I talked it over with Tanya, and we're going to do about 10 to 15 tables.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yes.
And I know last year at the end on that Monday, there was like an open gaming room where employees just grabbed a whole bunch of games and set them up at a table and was like, if you're not done and you want to, play some more games, we're not necessarily playing Pathfinder or Starfinder or anything like that. It's just games that we love to play. How did that work out?
I really liked it. I think it could use a little bit more advertising and a little bit, people knowing that it's there. I got to play Settlers of Catan, which was one of my favorite games, and it was great. Great way to end the convention.
I played some Mario Kart.
Yeah.
There was Mario Kart
a couple people set up Mario Kart in one of the seminar rooms. And probably do that again this year too.
It was a good time. Yeah. So there's more than just what's in the schedule. There's so much going on. There's and then everything is conveniently located around a bar and restaurant that's right there in the hotel. There's a lot of hanging out that happens too. So it's a really good time. Anything else that we didn't cover that we were going to cover? Because time really went by. Yeah,
it did. I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Again, if you want more information, there's a link that I'm putting there. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link that I'm putting up in the corner, probably right above my head, right around there. So feel free. We would love to have you. We would love to have you come out, enjoy the games with us, and and just kind of chat and have a good time. So, all right, I'm going to do a wrap up for the YouTube, and then we'll come back and do a Q&A with the chat.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
If you have any questions or if you want to chat or talk about PaizoCon, I am fairly active in the PaizoCon forums. I make sure I check in on there usually about once a day at least to see if there's new posts, if people have questions, if there's stuff I can help with. So if you want to know more and you have a specific question, you can email me or you can post in the forums.
Awesome. And definitely if you have questions, Sarah and her team are amazing at helping out folks that are having problems. So thank you to you and your team. They're badass. All right, so let's do a goodbye and then we'll do Q&A. How do you feel about that?
Sure.
Okay, great. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and hitting the like button. It really helps us on YouTube. And it also helps you know when I upload more videos, because I upload quite a few during the week. And also, if you are interested in PaizoCon, please hit the link that I'm putting up there in the card that will pop out, or probably down below in the description of the video. There's a link there as well. We would love to have you come out and enjoy the games with us. For Paizo, and for Sarah Marie, and for me, I'm your old buddy Dan. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you again next time. Bye!